The first foreign policy crisis of Narendra Modi's second term as Prime Minister may be a war between two of India's friends, America and Iran. As Indians cast and counted their ballots, American and Iranian leaders beat their drums. But the argument that should rise above these drumbeats is that war launched by the US against Iran would be illegal and immoral. Here's why. First, illegality. Would war with Iran be legal under domestic and international law? No. There is no authority for war with Iran under US or international law. America lacks the authority under its own domestic and under international law to launch its third war in the Middle East in 18 years. In respect of domestic law, Congress in 2001 passed the Authorization for Use of Military Force, the AUMF. The AUMF, however, speaks about going after nations, organizations, or persons that committed or aided in the terrorist attacks of September 11th. Neither Iran nor indeed Shiites had anything to do with 9/11. Likewise, there's no domestic authority for attacking Iran under the 2002 Authorization for the Use of Military Force against Iraq. Second, immorality. Would war with Iran be moral under the requirements of just war theory? No. Just war theory provides the most widely accepted criteria for the morality of war, and there are 6 criteria. America fulfills none of them with respect to Iran. War would not be a last resort. It would not be fought with a just cause. Whether it would be launched by a competent authority with right intention, proportionality, and a probability of winning is dubious. Let's take a quick, close look at each one of those criteria. Last resort? No. Sanctions have been tightened by the US, and they are showing signs of working. Just cause? No. America has yet to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Iran is to blame for all of the serious wrongs about which the US complains. To be sure, Iran may not be innocent, but the US has a high evidentiary burden to meet before triggering a war with Iran, the kind of evidentiary burden it did not meet in triggering the 2003 Iraq War. Competent authority? Dubious. Just war theory demands that officials responsible for launching a war be legitimate public decision makers who allow for debate. But sending combat troops into Iran with no understanding of the purported enemy would be unfair to them, as it was in March 2003. Moreover, the authorities should indeed be competent. Whether key decision makers on Iran are is questionable. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo behaves like a Secretary of War. He's never spoken directly with his Iranian counterpart, Foreign Minister Javad Zarif. In fact, he tweeted in February 2019 that the foreign minister and the president of Iran were frontmen for a corrupt religious mafia. And known to seethe with hatred for Iran, John Bolton, the national security advisor upon whom the lives of thousands of Americans could depend, is even less objective. How about intention? That's dubious too. Just war theory requires that the only purpose for launching war is to right a serious wrong. What's America's purpose? Is it regime change, or is it modification of behavior? Depending on the day and the official, different American officials on different days have stated different intentions. How about proportionality? That's dubious too. It's a mistake to think that American forces chasing the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps and their proxies across the border between Iran and Iraq will mitigate conflict, just as it was a mistake to think so when America bombed Laos and raided Cambodia, thinking the U.S. could cut off supplies to the Viet Cong along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Stability in Iraq requires warm ecumenical relations between Sunni and Shia, and it's a mistake to think that Iraqi Shia are all pro-Tehran. just as it's farcical to suggest that India's Muslims are pro-Islamabad. How about the probability of winning? That's dubious. Of course, in a direct military conflict with the US, Iran will suffer a defeat the likes of which Persian civilization has not seen since 331 BC. But that victory will be costly for the American homeland. Consider combat deaths, disabilities, suicides. These are all foreseeable costs America will pay, as it has and still is with respect to the Second Gulf War. The Prime Minister of India holds the rare position of trust of both America and Iran. Appreciating the illegality and immorality of war, the Prime Minister can choose to offer his good offices for India's two friends to re-engage with one another.